He came back at exactly 7:47 p.m. His wife opened the door. He hugged her, but his daughter didn't come near. She stood in the hallway and stared at him. Later, she told me, he smelled wrong. Not like woods. Not like sweat. He smelled like an old refrigerator you open after the power's been out. I thought it was just a kid's imagination. I was wrong. The first thing I noticed when I arrived was the fridge. It was wide open and completely empty inside. No milk, no vegetables, nothing. But on the floor lay 6 packages of raw steak, torn open with teeth. The daughter stood next to me and said, he ate them all in one evening. Just ripped off pieces and swallowed. Didn't even chew. I asked the man what his name was. He looked at me and smiled. You already know, he said. But his eyes were empty, like there was nobody inside. I asked where his partner, Mike, was, since he was supposed to go on the hike with him. Mike took a different route, he said. I checked the trailhead registry, but Mike never checked out. At all. I asked about food. You were in the mountains for a month. Where did you get your food? He pointed at his backpack. I opened it. Inside was a knife, blood, and hair. Long, red hair. Not his wife's, not his daughter's. Whose? I asked. He shrugged. Hunger, he said. I looked at his hands. No scratches on his fingers, not one. It was impossible to survive in the mountains for a month without a single scratch. I decided to check the GPS tracker in his jacket. It was turned off the whole month, except for one day, the 5th day. The tracker showed coordinates to a cave, 20 kilometers off the trail. I drove there. Inside the cave, I found a sleeping bag and a photo. A photo of Mike. But in the photo, Mike was alive, smiling, holding a flag. The same flag the man had hung on his front porch. I came back and asked his wife, when he returned, did he bring anything? She said, a big bag. Heavy. I found the bag in the garage. Inside were MREs, unopened. 30 of them, all intact. He wasn't starving. He had food. Then what was he eating? I walked into the house. The daughter was sitting in the kitchen, staring at the steak on the plate. That's not beef, she said. I moved closer. The meat was dark, too dark. I brought it to my nose. The smell was the same one, like an open refrigerator. I asked the daughter, what do you mean? She pointed at the edge of the steak. There was a tattoo, a small circle, exactly like the one on Mike's wrist. My skin went cold. I went down to the basement. There was a freezer, locked. I opened it. Inside were vacuum-sealed packages, 10 of them. Each one contained meat with tattoos, different ones. I counted 4 different tattoos. 4 people. I went back upstairs. The man was sitting in the armchair, drinking plain water. Who are they? I asked. He looked at me. The ones who didn't come back on time, he said. I drew my gun. He didn't even flinch. You don't know who I am, he asked. I stayed silent. I'm not Mark, he said. Mark died 15 years ago on the very first day. I ate him. Then I came back home to his family. They never noticed a thing. I looked at the daughter. She was crying, but not from fear. She was crying from relief. I didn't understand. You knew? I asked. She nodded. I knew from day one. He smelled exactly like the one who came 15 years ago. But I was scared. I thought if I told, he'd come back and do the same to me. I arrested the man. His real name is Derek Vance, a serial cannibal. He'd done it 6 times, every 5 years. He'd pick a hiker, go into the mountains with him, kill him, then come back home to his family and live his life until it was time to go again. But this time he made a mistake. He took Mike, and Mike was my brother. I'd been searching for him for 15 years, and I found him in the freezer. Derek is in prison now, life without parole. But the daughter, she's sitting across from me right now. She's smiling. "Thank you," she says. "Now I can sleep peacefully." I nod. But she doesn't know. I haven't told her the main thing. When I opened that freezer, I didn't just see meat. I saw a journal, Derek's journal. In it, he wrote about every victim, Mark, Mike, and the others. But on the last page was an entry dated yesterday. He wrote, "I know you're coming. You always come. But you made a mistake, detective. You think I'm the cannibal. I'm just the cook. The real monster is the one who eats." I looked at the daughter. She was smiling, but her teeth were red. She was holding a fork and a piece of meat, the same one with a tattoo, the one I'd seen on Derek's arm. She didn't wait for me to leave. She started eating right there in front of me. And I understood. She'd known everything from the very beginning, because she'd been doing it with him for 15 years.